home. Welcome to your darling program, ABN Civil Newspaper Review. Here with me, I have the Punch newspaper. And the headline story here with me with the Punch newspaper. Tinubu ministers under fire for alleged link with bandits. Standing Ogun State leprosy community cries for help as robbers loot home. Labour kills as federal government mandates minimum wage payments to July. Now the story in details. Edo poll. Group's caution against Beavers failure. Ahead of Saturday's governorship elections in Edo State, the Independent Electoral Commission has been advised to work against vested interests and prevent the malfunctions of the Bamenda voters accreditation system. Recall that the Commission on Thursday began the deployment of more than 5,000 beavers units and other sensitive materials for the Edo State governorship elections. The sensitive materials, including ballot papers and result sheets, arrived in the state on Wednesday via Benin Airport and have been transported to storage facilities under tight security. Saturday Punch gathered that the Commission will deploy more than 18,000 as all staff for the elections, which would be held across the 4,519 polling units in the state. Speaking in separate interviews with our correspondent on Thursday, the National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement Worldwide, UNISA Tanko, and the National Security of the Coalitions of United Political Parties, Peter Amen, said failure to guard against the interests of power political elements and Beavers' malfunctions would rather shatter INEC integrity and the credibility of the elections. Edo poll, group's caution against Beavers' failure. The full details of this story is in page 5 of Nigerian Punch newspaper. Another story here with me in the Nigerian Punch newspaper. Ogun State empowers 24,000 farmers. Ogun State government, in partnership with the federal government, has launched the flag-off ceremony of input redemption under the National Agriculture Growth System, Agro Pocket, and aim at empowering 2,400 farmers across the state. The ceremony took place at Obafemi Owode local government area. The program, which focused on 3 major crops, rice, cassava, and maize, is designed to provide farmers with inputs such as seed, fertilizer, herbicide, and pesticide. Speaking at the event, Governor Dapo Abiodun emphasized the significance of the initiative and disclosing the 195 rice farmers and 81 maize farmers and 215 cassava farmers in Owode local government area would benefit from the program. Abiodun, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Mrs. Kende Jokotoye, acknowledged the efforts of both the federal and the state governments in providing these opportunities and encouraged farmers to maximize the inputs to ensure food security in the states. We should appreciate these federal governments and Ogun State governments for putting this together to support this program, the governor said in his address. The Commissioner for Agriculture, Bolu Owotomo, urged the beneficiary to take full advantages of the program and ensuring that none of the inputs are missed. Ogun State empowers 24,000 people farmers in the state. The full details of this story is on page 5 of Nigerian Punch newspaper. Another story here with me in the Nigerian Punch newspaper. Kwara State UNICEF empowered 34 children from remand home. The Kwara State government, in collaboration with the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund, has empowered 34 children who have been in remand home for different crimes in the state. Speaking at the event held at the state's banquet hall in Ilorin on Friday, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak said that the empowerment program was for the second batch of executive convicts released from Buster Training Institution. Government is overloading local government area of the state between April 1, 2022 and December 31, 2023. Represented at the event by the Commissioner for Special Duties, John Bello, the government said a total of 103 adolescents who had been convicted of theft and rape were released. Out of them, 65 were assessed while 30 were empowered. Today, UNICEF is empowering an additional 34 anchor-feet in 18 different skills. This is to release them to back into society, the governor added. Representative of UNICEF, Dr. Wilfred Maman, who appreciated the role played by the state government in re-educating the children back into society. Change the children be brave and bold and unbroken as the future hold more people's space for them despite long. Kwara and UNICEF empower 34 children from remand home. The full details of this story is in page 7 of Nigerian Punch newspaper. Another story here with me in the Nigerian Punch newspaper. Focus on job creation. Stakeholders urge students. Education stakeholders have advised students to focus on creating jobs rather than pursuing careers that would make them potential job seekers. They made this call during a one-day education enhancement seminar and worship for Lagos State students held recently in Lagos. The event, organized by the Jeremiah and Felicia Adeloju Foundation, was the inaugural edition of the program. According to Director and Coordinator of Jeremiah and Felicia Adeloju Foundation in Nigeria, Jacob Akintola, the program aims to empower Nigeria's future leaders through educational initiatives and skills acquisition. Akintola stated, "I am pleased to welcome you to this exhibition workshop on technical training for our students. The GFA Foundation is a non-profit and non-governmental organization. Our vision is to empower tomorrow's leaders through an educational program and skill acquisition. We are committed to addressing developmental defeats among the less privileged in the society. Today, we gather as a community of change makers and united by a shared vision of a brighter, more compassionate world. We recognize that the challenges we face are complex, but we are also know that together we have the power to overcome them." The founder of the GFA Foundation, Mrs. Elizabeth Olagunju, who spoke through a record video during the seminar, said that the program represented another opportunity to serve humanity in Lagos, a city she described as a meeting place where people from all nations aspire to live. In his keynote address, the Chief Executive Officer of Chingago Ventures Lagos, Mr. Abiola Erelu, advised students to consider entrepreneurship as they choose their future careers and stressed the importance of value creation and solving problems over the pushes of traditional white-collar jobs. Focus on job creation. Stakeholders urge students. The full details of this story is on page 8 of Nigerian Punch newspaper. Another story here with me in the Nigerian Punch newspaper. Labour Party kicks as federal government mandates minimum wage implementation to July. The Committee on Consecration Administration on Salaries for Civil Servants met on Friday as regards the new minimum wage template and agreed that the effective date for implementation of new minimum wage be set at July 29, 2024. This is according to a memorandum of the understanding issues at the end of the meeting, which was cited by the correspondent in Abuja on Friday. The committee also recommended that the wage award was a decommission of the government should always be paid until July 2024. The committee, headed by the head of civil service of the Federation, Didi Wansi Jack, noted that the government took note of the economic situation in the country before it took its decision. The committee held 4 meetings and considered all presentation by the federal government and trade union sides. It also considered the economic situations and abilities of federal government to pay and sustain any concessional adjustments in salaries, assisting from the implementations of the national minimum wage. Labour kicks as federal government mandates minimum wage implementation to July. The full details of this story is on page 10 of Nigerian Punch newspaper. And another story here with me in the Nigerian Punch newspaper. "I'm not after your money," Tinubu tells Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu on Friday said he is not in office for personal gain but to serve the country. He agreed that his administration is focused on delivering tangible results and making a positive difference in the nation's infrastructure, food and energy security, education, and long-term economic stability. "I did not come to look for money and explore the situation. I come to work. I stated for this vote, and Nigeria gave them to me." And Tinubu has a meeting with the Forum of Former Presidents Officers of the National Assembly led by the former Senate President Ken Namni at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. Special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, revealed that on Friday says in a statement that I did not come to took your money, I came to work. President Tinubu tells, I'm not after your money, and Tinubu tells Nigeria. The full details of this story is in page 27 of the Nigerian Punch newspaper. And lastly, with me, the Nigerian Punch newspaper, Lautech Masscom hails Odugbemi appointment in Oscar. The Department of Mass Communication, Lagos State University of Science and Technology, has congratulated renowned filmmaker Femi Odugbemi for his appointment to serve on the International Engagements Committee of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Science, a prestigious global role within the Oscar body. The committee is responsible for shaping the academic international engagement strategy and particularly focusing on membership, governance, and impact initiatives. Odugbemi's appointment was conveyed through a letter by the governor of the committee, Peter Dively. The head of Mass Communication Department, Lautech, Dr. Stephen Anu, in a statement on Friday, described Odugbemi's appointment as a testimony to his constant-standing contribution to the film industry and his tireless efforts as promoting Nigerian cinema globally. The prestigious recognition is a testimony to your contribution to contemporary African cinema and your unwavering dedication to the film industry. Lautech Masscom hailed Odugbemi's appointment in Oscars. The full details of this story is in page 27 of the Nigerian Punch newspaper. And before we come back to the second edition of this program, if you'd like to follow us on our website page, you can follow us and click on www.abntv network. Try to subscribe and like and comment and share. And you can also follow us on our social media. We have the Facebook, we have the YouTube, we have the Twitter, we have the Instagram. You can share and like and comment and subscribe. On our Facebook, you can click on ABNTV OSUN, and likewise on our YouTube, you can click on shares and comments and subscribe. You can click on ABNTV Nigeria, and we also have our Twitter. You can follow us and click on ABNTV OSUN. And lastly, on our Instagram, you can follow us on ABNTV Nigeria. Try to subscribe and like and share and comment on our website page and social media page. Before we come back to the second edition of this program, let's listen to what we have for us today. We'll be right back.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Isuna Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich cultural heritage.
Back, and I hope you enjoy what we have here in our studio. Now to the second edition of this program, the Tribune newspaper. And the headline story here with me with the Tribune newspaper. VC says, an university institution VC says, 3,183 students who apply for next fund loans will be allowed to write exams. Circular Road, we will not touch houses in densely populated areas, or your government says. IGP locks down Edo as governor polls hold today. Tinubu believes he knows it all. He takes no advice. New minimum wage may take effect from July 29. I did not come to look for money, I come for work. The full details of this story is in page 29. And now the story in this is. Empower beneficiary declare alleged plan to scrap humanitarian ministry. Beneficiaries of the Empower have added that the voices to the grow opposition against the alleged plan by the federal government to scrap the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. In a statement signed by Nasif Mohammed Abubakar, president of the Empower Beneficiaries Kano State chapter, the group expressed reservation about the reported plan and citing the ministry's critical role in addressing humanitarian crisis and reducing poverty and promoting social welfare. According to Abubakar, the ministry formations was a strategic move to streamline and coordinate humanitarian interventions and disaster response and social response programs in the country, and saying Scrapping is what undermines the government's efforts to address the Nigerian socio-economic challenges. He added that the Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Ministry was the only agency of government that could project the good image of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration, and considering how close the ministry is to average Nigeria. The group also averred that the ministry oversaw various social investment programs, including Empower Scheme, coordinational cash transfer, and the homegrown school feeding program, and warning the scrapping the ministry will lead to a lack of proper coordination of this program, potentially pensioning corruption and management within the agency. He said Nigeria is grappling with numerous crises, including internal conflict, natural disaster, and a rising number of internally displaced persons. The ministry play a vital role in managing this crisis, and its scrapping will create a vacuum that will exacerbate the situation. This absence of the central coordinating body will allow corruption and mismanagement of strife and undermine and effectively of this program, Abubakar stated. Empower beneficiaries decries a large plan to scrap humanitarian ministry. The full details of this story is on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another story here reads me in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Private medical practitioners lament poor funding of healthcare and plan solutions. The Association of Nigeria Private Medical Practitioners has identified funding as the most pressing challenges to effective healthcare delivery in the country, and call on its members to evaluate their resources as they struggle to tackle the problem. The chairman of the association in Lagos State, Dr. Makinde Akimpobola, stated this at the opening of the branch annual conference and AGM for 2024 at the Lagos Airport Hotel in Abuja. Akinlemibola said healthcare funding was the most pressing challenges to effective healthcare delivery, and noting that governments and non-governmental organizations alike have struggled to meet the recommended budgetary allocation for healthcare in the country. He said the year 2024 has been challenging and transformative for medical practice, not just here in Lagos or Nigeria, but across the globe. We have witnessed new and evolving dynamics that continue to reshape healthcare delivery. One of the most pressing challenges remain healthcare funding. Government and non-governmental organizations have struggled to meet the recommended budgetary allocation for healthcare. There continues to be a significant gap between what is recommended, what is budgeted, and more importantly, what is socially disbursed and utilized in a time of economic downturn. These challenges are further compounded. Private medical practitioners lament poor funding of healthcare and plan solution. The full details of this story is on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another story here with me in Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Group Advanced Women Empowerment at 2024 Summit. A member of WIP Police Catalyst Fund Quest, led by Abright Subbridge Group, Eden Ventures Group, play a key role at the Gender Inclusion Summit 2024, held in Abuja by the Policy Innovation Center. The Eden at the summit with the theme Renomination Genders, Inclusive Pathways, and Partnership with Poverty Reduction, spearheaded as Wins Niger, initiated by exploring critical strategies for empowering women across Nigeria. At the summit, hosted through an interactive booth, the initiative engaged attendees in discussion in how the would policy address economic inequality as stakeholders called for accelerated demonstration at the WIL policy across Nigeria, 36 states. In a keynote address, Gracia Ball, Director of Women's Economic Empowerment Program at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, praised Nigeria's new WIL policy and stressed the urgency of its nationwide implementation to close gender gaps in economic participation. She said the WIL policy is a strong blueprint for lifting Nigerian women and its girls in sectors like agriculture, entrepreneurship, and emerging industries. Gender lead at the Bright Stonebridge Group, Rimi Tamlok, led a fireside chat with Ventures First Lady of Kwara State and Chair of the Nigeria Governor Sponsors Forum, Professor Olufoluke Abdulrazak, who explained Kwara State's pioneering efforts in implementing empowerment program for women ahead of the demonstration. Citing success stories in women's leadership and financial independence plan empowering thousands of women. Group Advanced Women Empowerment at 2024 Summit. The full details of this story is in page 6 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another story here with me, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. We will encourage government agencies to list. The Securities and Exchange Commission has related its willingness to encourage state-owned enterprises to list on the Nigeria exchange in line with the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. The Director General of the SEC, Dr. Amonsimi Agama, who disclosed this in an interview in Abuja, said when such a company lists their security, it will lead to the democratization of their operation, inclusiveness and worthy creation for Nigeria. Dr. Agama said inclusivity is very critical because in inclusivity you have ownership, and so we all build house industry and the country together. For us at the SEC, we provide initiatives that will encourage as much as possible these state-owned enterprise to list. You know that besides the incentives, one of the things that we at the SEC will continue to do is to educate those that are managing this institution, to get them to understand that listing of this institution does not remove power from them. It's rather provide bigger power, because unlisted we stand, divided we fall. He said, Commission will continue to provide education and incentive and make sure that time to market is reduced. We will encourage government agencies to list. The full details of this story is in page 7 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another story here with me in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Why we introduce new features to Allied TV? The General Manager of Home Entertainment Electronic Nigeria, Mr. Chambi Sok, has explained that the significance of the new features introduced to the company CEO television with 6 senses experience. He said, the state of this television start is designed to provide an immersive viewing experience that engages not only sight and sound but also touch and speech and taste. Taking home entertainment to an entirely new level, at LG Electronic we are driven by a passion for innovative and adding that looking ahead, LG shows no signs of slowing down as technologies continue to evolve and all consumer preference shifts. LG remain at the forefront of innovation and ready to redefine the futures of home entertainment at once again. At a press conference to unveil the new ventures in Lagos recently, he stated that with the unwavering commitment to excellency, it is no wonder LG has maintained its 11 years of early dominance for over a decade, and 3, there is no doubt that its reign will continue for many years to come. The LG OLED TV was 6 senses experience represents a leap forward in how we consume and interact with content by engaging all 6 senses, and we are creating more immersive and personalized and interactive experience. This is more than just a TV. It is portal into a new world to entertainment that are more vivid and engaging and real. Where we introduce new features to our OLED TV. The full details of this story is in page 25 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And lastly, with me in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, flood 1,061,254 persons displaced and 634,035 houses damaged and 94,741 farmland submerged nationwide. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Aliji Zambada Uman, on Thursday in Kebbi State, disclosed that no fewer than 1,061 and 250,000 persons have been displaced by flood and 634,035 houses damaged and 94,741 farmland submerged across the country. The Director General, who was represented by Dr. Daniel Abbott, who is the Director of Disaster Risk Reductions of the agency, warned that 16 local government areas of Kebbi State are predicted to be affected by flood this year. She said the aim of early warning strategy was to integrate direct risk communication and engagement approach to disseminate early warning message for early actions at the state, local government, and community levels. The rainfall and flood advisories contained in the season climate predictions and annual flood outlook of Nigeria Meteorological Agency and Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency, respectively, have provided us with vulnerable early warning alerts. Consequently, all of us are expected to take action that is drastically reduce the adverse impact of flood of the entire land and the Nigerian population, especially for the most vulnerable persons living in communities identified to be at risk of flooding, she added. Woman revealed that statistics from the National Emergency Coordination Centers of NEMAN as of Friday, September 13, indicated that 176 local government areas in 30 states, including FCT, were affected, as against the 148 local government areas and 31 states predicted by NAMSAN. About 161,254 persons were affected, and 634,035 are being displaced, and 94,741 houses are either damaged or destroyed. 125,805 acres of farmland were regarded as submerged or crops being washed away across the country. She said, Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nancy Idris commended the agency and its team of experts for their initiative for the 2024 Dow's Calling of Flood Early Warning Strategy Agency. And the governor, who was represented by his deputy senator Abubakar Umar, said, your expertise and resources were bolstered our effort to protect lives, livelihood, and infrastructure. He pointed out that the state has experienced several flooding, which affected at least 13 local government areas recently, and displacing communities are affecting. Flood, 161,254 persons displaced, and 634,035 houses damaged, and 994,744 farmland submerged nationwide. The full details of this story is on page 28 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And if you want to follow us on our website page, you can follow us on our website. You can click on www.abntv network on our website page. And if you'd like to follow us on our social media, we have the Facebook. You can click and share on and follow us on our ABNTV hosting. And we also have our YouTube. You can follow us on ABNTV Nigeria. And likewise, we also have our Twitter. You can follow us on ABNTV Houston as well. And lastly, on our Instagram, you can follow us and click and share and subscribe. You can follow us on ABNTV Nigeria. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. My name is Kenny Afolabi. Bye for now.